Thank you all for coming. We're excited to show you the best of Lit in Film 2018.
As you entered, you were handed a voter's ballot. At the end of the viewing, please take a moment to vote for what you believe to be the best film. We will collect these at the end.
We want to showcase what we do every day.
Throughout the semester, we have created photo montages, 1-minute movies, passion pieces, and even commercials for local businesses.
Whether it's serious, humorous, or thought-provoking, we strive daily to make professional, universal films.
Over the next 30 minutes, you will see the following types of films: photo montage, 1-minute movies, experimental pieces, passion pieces, and commercials. We thank you again for coming, and at this time we ask that you please silence your phones, sit back, and relax for today's viewing.
So I'm super excited that we have a former Meadowview student here today who really lives the Wildcat way.
I'm here to introduce you to one of those amazing students, Stasha Wilson, maybe even the most amazing, and to tell you something about a very special painting that she has created just for Meadowview. It's right back here and you'll get to see it in just a minute. I'll leave it up to Stasha to tell you about her years here at this school and her accomplishments since she left, but I will say this much. Stasha's success is not really that surprising to the people who knew her.
Think of it this way: every powerful witch or wizard started out as nothing more as we are, students. If they can do it, why not us?
I've heard it all. You were just pain when you felt it. Oh, something tells me that I won't miss it. It's the first time that we can't fix it. It's irreversible damage done. The thrill is gone. Ooh, baby, ain't no one like you. You chose to keep the truth inside. Ooh, baby, keep my all to you. All you did was tell me lies. Something tells me that I won't miss it. It's the first time that we can't fix it. It's irreversible damage done. The thrill is gone.
Autism can affect people in different ways. It can make you bouncy and hyper, or it can make you quiet and sheltered. My brother and I might be polar opposites, but we do have one thing in common. We're both autistic. We often have a hard time listening to others and staying on task with various things. Some people can zone out into daydreams when other people are talking, and others will just not listen to people. Autistic people can also have a hard time with conversations and talking to people. I am incredibly shy. I prefer to do almost everything alone, avoiding group work as much as possible. I often keep my thoughts to myself. Even if I do want to say something, it either refuses to come out of my mouth or comes out so quiet you can barely hear it. Lots of people with autism also frequently move and have a hard time sitting still. This can range from constantly running around, not being able to sit for a long period of time at all, unless they're occupied with a screen or something they're actually interested in, to simply shaking or rocking in their seats and fidgeting with objects like rubber bands or fidget spinners. The latter of which, by the way, were supposed to be for autistic people. Then they became cool. However, there is a way to get help. My brother actually improved on his speech and his manners a little bit with the help of some therapists.
Can you say hi?
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Good.
What's your favorite color?
Green.
What do you like to do for fun?
I like to play games.
What kind of games?
Colors. I'll play colors.
And one good thing about my autism is that I feel like it can actually help me get schoolwork done faster.
I'm like a girl.
Simon!
Who are you?
Mom, it's Simon.
I am Mark.
The home team has 1st and 10 in the closing minutes of the fourth quarter.
I am smart. I am confident. I am loving. I am strong.
I am Julie.
I am Julie. I am sincere. I am patient. I am caring. I am honest.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm Caitlin. I'm outgoing. I'm kind-hearted. I am creative. I am happy.
At Mod Pizza, we specialize in our 11-inch thin crust pizza. You can choose from our wall, or you can build your own. And it's all the same price. You can also choose from a different assortment of salads and drinks. Mod Pizza is located on Old Schoolhouse Road in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, and we're open Sunday through Thursday, 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. We'll see you soon.
That if you talk enough sense, then you'll lose your mind. And I'll use you as a focal point, so I don't lose sight of what I want. And I move further than I thought I could, but I missed you more than I thought. And I'll use you as a warning sign, that if you talk enough sense, then you'll lose your mind.
Let's roll out the red carpet for 1983 radio TV film grad Brenda Lee Lau.
Fade in. Exterior. Day. Establishing shot. Telling stories is my passion. Writing is where it begins. Stories of courage, overcoming the odds, survival, love. Write. Do some more writing. Write another one. Hone your craft. If you dream it, you can do it. Don't just sit there and do a good job. You'll be sitting there doing a good job for the next 20 years. I'm Brenda Lee Lau. Currently, I own my own production company called A Bunch of Productions, and we create films, TV shows, and marketing assets. I grew up in Ashippun, Wisconsin, and now I live in Venice, California. I was definitely one of those kids always in front of the television. We really didn't have, social media at the time, so we spent a lot of days we weren't playing outside. In high school, I just really had a great time. I was involved in everything at the high school. I was in band. I was a pom-pom girl. I was a cheerleader. I did the big musical dramas every year in the production area. I had a lot of friends, very social. I was also in forensics. That took a lot of my time. We went to a lot of tournaments, and it was just a great time. I remember all the beautiful lakes. Basically, growing up, I remember in the summer we'd be out on the lakes water skiing, and on the winter we'd be over snow skiing and snowmobiling. So it was really a fun place to grow up. I went to the University of Wisconsin at Oshkosh. I was a chemistry major at first because I thought I wanted to be a doctor, and my parents liked that idea, or at least nursing. And then I had always wanted to be in radio, TV, film, and switched my major my freshman year the second semester, but then went back to chemistry. And then my senior year, I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I am going to pursue my passion. And by that time, I was already on the radio. And so I went 5 years rather than 4. I was on the 5-year plan and got my degree. After I saved up a whole $800 and had a little rabbit, Volkswagen Rabbit, after about a year and a half of doing that, I had friends that had moved out here, and so I just packed it up, and with my cousin, we drove out. I was with ABC Disney for 25 years as a creative director, senior writer, producer, and director. During that time, I've gotten to work on some really fun projects. I do the Oscars every year, and I'm also kind of known as the launcher, and I usually launch all the new dramas. A number of shows that I've worked on. The Good Doctor, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, Wives, Lost, NYPD Blue. There's so many. And then years ago when we did a lot of miniseries, I got to do all the Stephen King miniseries. And I actually flew to Bangor, Maine and did a shoot with Stephen. And he was so much fun to work with. The other thing that I really enjoy and my passion is writing. And I've had the opportunity to make 2 films. And for me, there's nothing like bringing a story to life and seeing amazing actors say your words and give these characters a personality. I mean, I think it's like birthing a baby, you know? It's just so amazing, so fulfilling. It's just the coolest part of my job. They really haven't been that difficult. I mean, because I'm pursuing what I love. And so it's always been a joy, actually. I mean, definitely, you know, things get intense because there's tight deadlines and things like that. But I just feel so blessed and lucky that I'm actually working in something that I love.
On June 5, 1974, Oconomowoc was holding its annual prom at the Concord House in Sullivan, Wisconsin. The school year had just come to a close and everyone was enjoying their time at the prom, including Kathy Schoberg. But later that night, Kathy left the dance hall for some fresh air and was never seen again. Kathy Schoberg was described as a good student, happy, friendly, and well-adjusted. She was also very beautiful, with long brown hair, green eyes, and freckles. She was attending prom with her on and off again boyfriend. She was wearing a light blue floral gown with matching heels. Oconomowoc's high school prom was held at the Concord House, a dance hall tucked away in the countryside west of Oconomowoc, in the tiny village of Concord. Around 3 a.m., Kathy and her boyfriend, Timothy, allegedly got into a fight, and with the hot summer night making the room stuffy, she wanted to go outside and clear her head. A friend of Kathy was the only one who saw her leave the building. Her friend was the last person to ever see her again, because after Kathy stepped into the cool early morning, she was never seen again. In the following days, search groups, by foot and air, searched the surrounding countryside, farm fields, woods, and roadsides. But not a trace of Schoberg was found, not a single clue surfaced, giving hint that she was alive or dead. Theories arose. Maybe she attempted to walk home and got into a car, on purpose or by force. Some say she possibly ran away. Some speculated that maybe she's been drinking at prom, wandered off, and fell into the nearby marsh. Time went on, there were leads that she may be still alive, but all were dead ends.
New at 6, a decades-old cold case solved. Tonight, the key piece of evidence that led to the arrest of a man for killing 2 teens almost 30 years ago.
Friends last saw them at a wedding reception here at the Concord House just south of I-94 and Highway 135.
You only hope that they're not someplace suffering.
They disappeared in August of 1980. In October, hunters found their bodies in a cornfield, dumped there, prosecutors now say, by this now elderly and sickly Louisville, Kentucky man. 76-year-old Edward Edwards worked at the Concord House at the time of the murders and left town a short time later. DNA testing on semen left on Drew slacks gave investigators a profile. Tipsters pointed them back to Edwards, whom they'd cleared at the time. Prosecutors say Edwards tied Drew's ankles and wrists and strangled her. Hack was stabbed in the chest and back. They'd been high school sweethearts, and their families believed they were meant to be together. And so they buried them. Their epitaph reads, "Kidnapped and slain." Their families are now hoping to add justice.
On August 9, 1980, 6 years following the disappearance of Schoberg, Kelly Drew and Tim Hack, 2 19-year-olds from Fort Atkinson, left the Concord House after a wedding reception. Hack's car was found still parked in the Concord House the next morning, but the couple was missing. 2 months later, their decomposed bodies were found in a field a few miles away, and their killer was never found. Then, in 2009, DNA found on the body of Drew was tested, and it tied her and Hack to a criminal named Edward Wayne Edwards, a former handyman at the Concord House in the 1980s. Edwards would ultimately confess to the murders, as well as other similar murders, making him known as the Sweetheart Killer.
What happened with Kelly Drew and Tim Hack?
The girl and I, Kelly, we knew each other. I was doing work up there at where the dance hall and the bar and everything are at. It was a wedding reception. He was in there arguing, and she didn't want to hear it. She came out, and they started arguing. And so I had walked over. He pushed her again, she went down, and I hit him in the neck, very hard. He went down, and he stayed down. It worked out, and then she started piling on me. She's talking about, he's dead, and she started smacking me and everything, so I ended up choking her. That's where they both died. We got my van, brought it back around, put them in the van, and drove off and exposed them in a cornfield.
Immediately, attention was placed back on Schoberg's disappearance. Could Edwards have been the one to take her? Could Schoberg's family finally reach closure? Unfortunately, no. After detective investigation, it was determined that Edwards was not in Wisconsin during June of 1974. Sjoberg's mother was devastated. Again, she said, shortly after in a newspaper article, that it was the only hour in maybe 35 years that we have had hope, she says. Today, a memorial for Sjoberg rests in the Glenview Memorial Gardens Cemetery in Ixonia. It was placed there by her mother in 1995. It was time to say goodbye, Sjoberg's mother said. The family had a small memorial service for her at Oconomowoc Church. The Concord House remains there still today as well. It is run down but relatively unchanged, appearing as it did in 1974. On a summer evening, you can stand there and almost imagine Sjoberg walking out through the doors into the night. For a moment, you can see her as she is in her photos, young, beautiful, smiling, with her whole life ahead of her.
Run, let my body run.
Let's go, Drake. Yeah.
Come to Rocky Rococo in Oconomowoc. We serve pizza by the slice, whole pies, pasta, and salad. We have a super slice of the day every day of the week from Monday through Saturday. We are open on Mondays through Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and on Sundays from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Thank you for coming. We'll collect your votes as you leave.
Thank you all for coming. We're excited to show you the best of Lit in Film 2018.
As you entered, you were handed a voter's ballot. At the end of the viewing, please take a moment to vote for what you believe to be the best film. We will collect these at the end.
We want to showcase what we do every day
Throughout the semester, we have created photo montages, 1-minute movies, passion pieces, and even commercials for local businesses.
Whether it's serious, humorous, or thought-provoking, we strive daily to make professional, universal films.
Over the next 30 minutes, you will see the following types of films: photo montage, 1-minute movies, experimental pieces, passion pieces, and commercials. We thank you again for coming, and at this time we ask that you please silence your phones, sit back, and relax for today's viewing.
Years ago. It was freshman year of high school, right? I was 14 years old, and then I started smoking a lot of weed, and it just kind of like went from there. Like pot's just pot, I don't know. And then I was at a party one day, right? It was spring break, sophomore year, and then I got offered a line of coke, and I did it.
Alright, so I am a sophomore at Oconomowoc High School. My name is Nathan Hornberg, and I kind of have a long history with drugs related to my family. I have a half-brother. He is now 28 and still in jail. He's overdosed about 3 or 4 times. His heart has stopped 2 of those times. I've had a long history with that, and I've had a cousin who was addicted to heroin. He would sell heroin. He actually got put in jail because someone that he sold to died off of heroin. I have a dad who would sell pills to keep up money because we were harsh with money. We were very poor for a long time.
Hi, my name is Keith Walters. I'm a senior here at Oconomowoc High School, and drugs have affected me and my family in a very big, tragic way.
My parents drug tested me, and they found cocaine and amphetamines and marijuana in my system. So they sent me to a residential program in Illinois. I was in Illinois Rosecrans for about 40 days, and then I just got back like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that.
So in all, like, how do you think this experience has changed you?
Honestly, like, I don't regret it. Like, I don't know, it's kind of made me like who I am today in a way. Like, I mean, it's not just like, okay, so like addiction, like they always talk about like once you're an addict, you're always an addict, which it's like, it's true. It's like completely true. Like, I don't know, I have an addictive mentality. My mom, she's an addict too. And it's hard because I don't just struggle with like addiction. Like, I have PTSD, I have anxiety, I have depression and insomnia. So like, I'd use drugs to like cope with all that stuff, you know what I mean?
One of the hardest things is knowing that you can't change a person. You can do all you can for them, but you will never be able to change them if they are not willing to change. And it's something you just kind of have to do what you can for the best of you. Like, I have now not been living with my family for a total of 3 years. I actually moved in with a friend for about 3 months, and then after that I moved in with another person for 1.5 years. They couldn't afford it anymore, so I moved in with a new family, and I've been living there for about 1.5 years as well, and things are going good. But I mean, it's something hard to cope with, but you have to really focus on what you can do mentally and to prepare yourself, and what you can do to deal with it. Push yourself and do what's right for you, because if you want to sit there and dwell on it and not want to do anything to make yourself better, you're just going to go down the wrong road as well.
Could you please tell us about how drugs have affected you?
Actually, drugs affected me and my family pretty rough, actually, back in July of 2017. We lost my brother to an overdose. It was a pretty sad time, actually. It's a really sad time, to be honest. It affected us not even at the time that we lost him, but probably years before that. He had an addiction. Like, it affected all of us in a very, very tragic way, and like it affected us how we lived. Our lifestyle, I feel, was definitely impacted by it.
Several years ago, we started a program called Stairway to Heroin. It's an education prevention program for parents where we go out and we present, and we have speakers who provide personal testimonies about how drugs, in particular heroin, has impacted their lives. We've put on several of those presentations here at the high school, and the whole idea behind it is to help parents and students recognize the dangers of experimentation and how making even one choice can have devastating consequences.
Living with this, growing up with it, being all a part of my life, I have absolutely despised this since it's completely ruined my childhood, and it's completely torn my family apart and everything, and I hate it. I can't stand drugs, and I will do anything to stay away from them and keep myself away.
I feel that there is, as I'm still in a high school, I feel like there's a lot of stigma and joking around, as you could say, about like drugs and stuff like that. I just wanted to to be known that like people that make jokes and stuff about it, it's not really of a funny topic, and it's a serious thing, and people actually need to listen to it and take care of it, and that it's just not a joking matter, and that if you do know someone that is struggling with addiction and you haven't spoke up about it, it's definitely something that you need to speak up about.
Thank you, Keith.
So one would say that I see in our society in general, in our area, is a lot of denial and waiting till there's a crisis. We, as a society, I feel like don't want to work on the prevention side and see mental health and emotional issues as a weakness. I feel like we need to be more preventative in our schools and in our families of talking about emotional problems, our history with emotional problems. A lot of mental health issues have genetic connections for kids to know about, so that they have the tools to be able to make good decisions when they are put in front of them opportunities to use drugs. I feel that I would probably say that with a lot of clients that I see, teenagers like you guys, is when someone comes to me and tells me that they know that a friend of theirs is doing something that's very destructive and they're worried about them, but they don't want that person to be mad at them or want to betray their trust, I always kind of put back on them. Would you rather them be mad at you or dead?
One thing that's really happened is if stuff goes on like this in your life and people are giving you crap for it, they don't know what happens behind closed doors.
Welcome to Dunkin' Donuts. Located on 427 East Wisconsin Avenue in downtown Oconomowoc, come on in to try our freshly brewed coffee and, of course, for a signature donut. Stop in any day of the week from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you're in a rush, don't worry. You can always stop by our drive-thru.
Caitlin, get in here.
What do you want?
Please get your life together.
Just leave me alone.
Sunday
name's Andre Johnson. I live in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. I'm 18 years old and I'm addicted to drinking Windex. I started drinking Windex when I was like 6 years old. It was on accident. I was helping my grandma clean the windows and a little bit of it got in my mouth and I liked it. So then I just started drinking it, I guess. I mean, I started just spraying it every now and then when I was cleaning the windows, but then I just started drinking it straight out of the bottle. Now I can't go more than an hour without drinking Windex. Drink it from the bottle, I brush my teeth with it, and what I really like is to drink it on the rocks.
I'm Andrea's grandmother, and I'm very concerned. You know, when she was 6 years old, we knew something was wrong. She used to always help me around the house, and she was always there to help. You know, and we'd wash the windows, we'd clean the rugs, we'd do whatever we had to do. And then all of a sudden one day I walk in, and she's cleaning the windows, spraying the Windex in her mouth. I said, Andrea, what's wrong with you? Don't you know that that will hurt you? And you know, she said, well, I'm not spraying that much. I think it's okay.
The way that the Windex burns makes me feel just so alive, and so it's just very comforting for me, but also just energizing. It's just everything you need all in one. I knew that I was addicted to Windex when I just started getting all sweaty, and my heart, I just had these crazy heart palpitations, like boom, boom, boom. And then I just couldn't handle it. I just knew that I needed something. That's all I could think about was Windex. Just Windex. Just the sound of the spray and just the way it burns my throat. I needed it so bad that I just ran downstairs, took it out, and just started drinking it straight out of the bottle right in the middle of my kitchen floor.
She's 18 years old. 18. She hides Windex in her room. Her mother has found her several times going out the door to school with a small bottle of Windex. She sprays it at night. She gets up in the morning, she sprays it. She puts it on her food. I don't know what to do. I talked to a doctor, the counselor said, have you been honest with her? I said, sure, I've been honest with her. I've told her how I feel. Well, he says, just be honest. Don't interrupt. Don't try to take away her life and her freedom. I said, my God, I'm paying you for this? She's doing Windex. I don't know where it's going. But I know someday something terribly is going to happen. You just mark my words because I am her grandmother and I know. I don't know what to do. You have to stop this interview. I'm so upset.
Hey Andre, can you come do the dishes?
Yeah, I'll be right there. I just gotta brush my teeth. The great thing about Windex is like, it doesn't just clean windows, it's also good for your teeth. I've never liked toothpaste anyways. I used to be afraid to let people know, so I would always sneak it. So I was drinking it in my kitchen floor. My mom was coming upstairs with the laundry, and she saw me and her face just dropped, and the laundry fell out of her hands, just hit the floor, and then instantly she started screaming, you know, la la la, and then she took the Windex bottle out of my hand and just threw it at the window. All I remember was like the sound of her screams, and then that sweet blue liquid flying everywhere, and it took every ounce of me not to lick that window clean, but I didn't, because I saw how hurt she was in her eyes.
Hi, I'm Chloe Johnson, and I am Andre's older sister, and basically, she's a crazy lunatic. I started noticing her addiction when I was the age of like 11. It was kind of scary. I thought it was a joke at first, actually, until Tuesday. It's kind of embarrassing when my friends come over and, you know, she's just sitting there like, squirt, 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 squirt. Like, one time, me and my boyfriend were in the bathroom. I mean, obviously washing our hands, and she comes in and she's like, pardon me, and we're like, what? So we step to the side, and she goes in the little cabinets and reaches and comes out with a straight full bottle of Windex. At that point, I was kind of just done. My boyfriend left me after that. She should obviously stop. Like, it's not normal. She can just move out. I mean, that would help too. I just really hate this.
I don't see what the big deal is. It's not like I'm doing hard drugs or drinking alcohol. It's just a little wind.
Call it off, let it go, all for nothing. I should have known. I made mistakes, crashed and burned, so many chances, no time to love. I need to find another way to make things right. I will be coming back again a second time.
I've created the monster.
Victor was shocked by how ugly and scary the monster was, so he left in fright. The people want nothing to do with the monster. The creature wants revenge on Victor Frankenstein by taking away what's closest to him, his wife Elizabeth.
If you have known what I've suffered and what I may yet endure,
Be happy, my dear Victor. There's nothing to distress you. My heart is content.
goodbye.
Hello, and welcome to Sobeys Restaurant. We are a restaurant in downtown Oconomowoc that specializes in approachable fine dining with an emphasis on locally sourced products and farm-to-table fare. We prepare healthy and delicious food that makes you happy and offers a variety of interesting and creative choices. Give us a call at 262-354-0812.
We were southern souls on a western road as the valleys climbed into mountains tall, and we wondered why we were there at all. It was the great divide and the mountains tall, singing, oh, whoa, oh, whoa.
Alright, I'm ready now, I ain't gonna fall back down now. Alright, I'm take it on me, baby. Alright, I ever ask, are you gonna be my lover? Tonight, I'll take you right.
Teachers, need a boost for your morning? Is your cup from home not getting it done? Spill the Beans Coffee Cart has you covered. With a variety of coffee, tea, cocoa, and cider. $1 per cup. $10 gets you a punch card worth 11 cups.
Get to know me now. This message was created by me, Tarai. I don't know where the hell is that?
Hi, my name is Connie Lang. I'm diagnosed with schizoaffective.
Schizoaffective disorder is a disorder that is basically schizophrenia with also depression or manic episodes.
Clothes hangers. And I take medication daily so I don't have episodes. I also use therapy, which is art therapy, and I'm very much involved in that. I teach therapy too as far as art, but I call it trash art.
Somebody threw this out and I repainted it as trash.
When I was a little girl, I don't remember much of my childhood, but it was very tragic. Children really don't know too much about me anymore.
Hi, I'm Alanis Andrews. I'm 12 years old, and Connie Lang is my grandma. Ever since I was a little kid, my grandma has been in and out of my life. She sometimes gets like really bad relapses of her schizophrenia, and she sees things, she hears things.
White bread and rye bread, roses, on a record. That's trash. Yeah. My oldest daughter got these shells in Hawaii, so I made them into necklaces.
I'm Catherine Andrews. My mother is Connie Lang. My mother has been chronically mentally ill since I can remember. So the first time she was in the hospital that I can remember was I was less than 10 years old. And she was there for several months.
I was in the car one time. I was in the back seat, my mom was in the driver's seat, and my grandma was in the passenger seat. And they were talking, and my mom wasn't going to do what my grandma wanted to do. And so she started screaming at her, and then she's like, just pull over. I'm going to walk home. And we were like 6 miles away from her house, and she started just screaming. And it was crazy, and she's like, fine, I just won't come over for Christmas. I won't come over for any holidays. And she was just saying all these rude things, not realizing I was still in the car. Also, I went to her house while she was putting on scarves, putting up crosses. I always remember my mom and my brother telling me that when, years ago, she used to put aluminum foil on her head. I don't remember why. I think it was like to protect her or something, but yeah.
I practice 3 religions, Christian, Jewish, and Indian. And this is, I'm called a white buffalo spirit. And this is my drawing of the buffalo. This is my worship center for Jewish and Christian. It was, I was going to school for LPN. And I was working at Waukesha Memorial as a psych technician. I was going to school at night. I worked during the day and at night and second shift. And my mother was living with me and she was causing me a lot of problems. So I threw her out. I had a gallbladder attack and my mind broke.
My name is Gwendolyn Hood. I am Connie Lang's middle daughter. Connie had her nervous breakdown when I was a junior in high school, and I would say my relationship with my mother is like a love-hate relationship. Well, I was a junior in high school. I don't know my exact age, but a junior in high school. My mother was studying to be a nurse at WCTC. What I can remember, and honestly, I would say through all the ups and downs that I've had with her, there's a lot in my younger years that I tend not to want to recall. But what I can say is that she did attempt to commit suicide because she had access. She was working at a hospital. She had access to a lot of medications at the time, and she overdosed. And she actually flatlined, is what I recall. They had to revive her twice. Since then, I would say after they were able to revive her, she was admitted into Rogers Memorial Hospital for a very, very long time. And I would say it wasn't my mother that I recalled anymore.
My grandma has been through a lot. She's been through strokes, and it's crazy how much things she's went through, but she's stuck through it all, and I'm very happy and proud of her of how well she is now.
The love-hate, I love her as a person. I love her for who she is, and I hate what's happening to her.
Thank you for coming. We'll collect your votes as you leave.